Hey, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, one half of the Dungeons Flag team, and we're gonna make something today. We're gonna make a pack mule miniature, and all we're gonna do is get a zebra from any little cheap animal set that's approximately in scale, and then we're gonna add stuff to it to make it look like it has a bag. So if we get a regular standard mini, you can see that guy will work for what we need. He's about in scale. He's a little bit big. We're just going to get a knife. We're going to carve some of that back up where he has a seam. Try to get rid of that seam if you can. He's got a little wonky spot on his nose I don't like. Cut that off too. He's got some dots on his side, but we can actually cover those up. We don't need to scrape those off. Alright, so let's get a wire brush. Let's scrape homeboy up to make sure paint sticks to him well. Now I have several of these, but it's something that people have commented on when they've come to my house and stuff. Like, oh wow, how'd you get that? I'm like, oh yeah, I made that. So I thought it'd be like something nice to share with you guys. Alright, we want to brush this too, so the paint sticks to it well. Well, not just paint, we're going to base this, so we want it to be... Probably should have the hot glue gun on if we're going to be doing stuff here. Okay. Making sure it was a big enough base I picked. I usually use a 2-inch base for size large stuff, but these have been kind of good because most size large stuff, I don't really follow the 2-inch and 1-inch rule so much for my bases as much as some people do. So we're going to need that, and we're going to need some stone, small rocks. We're going to need something to use for a base. We'll use this. Alright, so let's start talking about how we can attach stuff to this guy and how we can make him look like he's got bags and everything. So the first thing we need is like a cloth or a piece of leather that's going to drape across his back. So I have some of this here. It's really thin. It's actually not that thin. Let's see if I have anything thinner laying around. I don't see anything. Alright, well here's what we can do. We can just use some of this fabric I have that we've cut off from other projects lately. We can just use real cloth. What we want to do is we want to make a little piece to drape over his haunches there, or his... Now we don't want it to be hanging down off the sides too much if we can avoid it. So I'm going to cut that a little shorter. And you might think, oh, that's not a perfect square. No, it's not. That's alright. It'll be okay. Okay. Something like that. It'll provide some kind of protection for him so stuff doesn't rub. Let's see if that glue's hot yet. Yeah, it's hot. There we go. Oops. Center that on his back. And pull it down. And get that excess off. And we want that to come under there, so let's just get a little dooba-doo glue. If you get a little glue on his body, that's okay. You can wipe that off easy enough, or just leave it even, really. I don't think it matters too much. Oops, too far. Alright, well that's just how that's going to be, and that's okay. I don't think it'll hurt anything. Now we need something to use to make like a piece of strap or something that's holding that. So what I'm planning on doing is just getting a little bit of glue on this and then dragging it around the bottom. Then it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover a lot of that up. Let me get some of that glue melted in here real quick because that's not looking real good. There we go. Something like that. And bunch up some cloth and fold it around, make it kind of stick nice. Clean up some of this glue on his butt. Butt glue. Alright, so let's get this going. We're just putting a little dab of glue here. We're just going to get this, we're going to shove it down. It's on there pretty sturdy. Good. Nice. We're going to get a little super glue. I had super glue out, didn't I? Yeah. So we're going to get some super glue here. And we're going to get a piece of cardboard and smear that loose. Smear that around a little bit. Get it to the edges. Not all the way to the edges, but just, you know, if it goes on to the outer rim a little bit, that's fine, but we want to make sure we at least get it to the outer rim. Just dip that. Something like that. Make a fine dirt with it. Get a toothbrush. Okay. Let's get Homeboy on there. Now, these are kind of rounded on the bottom. So what I would recommend you do is just whack those off some. And then dip those in your glue. And get them on the base. You want them to sit kind of flush and even. Let him set there for a moment and he'll get sturdied up. He's kind of bendy and weird, so I'm not sure how great that's going to be. I'm going to dip his feet in this. Get him sturdied up. So he's on there pretty good. Yeah. I think we can all agree that'll work. Alright, let's get this put away. We're not going to need that again, most likely. If we do, it won't be for something for a little bit here. Let's get some stones on here. Just grab your forceps, or tweezers, I should say. Whoops. Okay, and what we can do, oops, alright, we're going to do it the other way. So for this, you just get a dip, a drop I should say, and then you're going to have to get something and pop that surface tension so it goes all the way down on the model. So if you have like a piece of toothpick with some paint on it, or just anything really, just to pop that surface tension, get it down there, get kind of coated around in the position you want it in. There we go. Something like that. Alright, so now we have a little something to work with here. We have a base. We got our dude, and we need some bags. And so there's a couple ways you can make bags. I'm just going to get a piece of cloth here since I have some out already. I'm going to get a little bit of wire. Let me get a bigger piece. Get a little bit of wire. Where's that wire I like to use? This is some kind of Christmas tree wire or something. I don't know what it is exactly. So get this. Get a couple little rocks in it. Bunch that up, catching those rocks, just like that. Then get your wire and wrap that around a little bit. There you go, something like that. Then you might want to leave a little bit of that on for now. A little bit of that extra wire going. Okay. So find the angle at which it looks the best like a bag. And you're just going to get a dab of hot glue. You're going to get that stuck up to there pretty good. And that's how we're going to build our pack mule. Okay, just step by step like that. So let me get another piece of little cloth. Something bigger. There we go. This is a sleeve for something, some shirt my wife had, I think. It's pretty warm out, but in the garage it's actually not as hot today as it's been the past few days. It's been almost unbearable down here. Now, if you want bigger bags, you can kind of adjust things to get bigger bags going. It's really all about what's good for you. And children's fabric tends to be a little thinner, so like this shirt here was my wife's, so it's not as thin. You just want to grab that up. Get all those rocks down in one spot. Get some wire. Oops, I pulled it right off like a dumbass. Try that again. Sometimes I'm clever and sometimes I'm not. Today I'm not. Seems like lately I've been a lot less clever than I'd like to be. Okay. Now you can use this wire to simulate the little string on your bag and come back and really paint this with some detail later. Or you can do what I do and just be lazy. It's really up to you. It's your craft. Do it your way. Okay, cut this excess cloth off. Snip some of that wire off. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to get a little dab of glue. And remember when I said it wouldn't matter if we had that cloth messed up? Well, here we go, proving it. Oh, shizen. Okay, let's get that cloth in situated. Get that bag situated pretty good and sturdy, and then let's get him glued back on the base the best way we can. Alright, let's get this back out. I did not think I would snap him off the base that easily. We're gonna need this crap again. And we're just gonna get a little extra glue to make sure he behaves. right. So some other things he might have on him, besides a couple bags hanging off him, maybe he's got a box across his back, so we can make that easy enough, right? Let's get a little piece of this stuff. Let's cut a little box, a little square box. Just something little sit on his back. And then we want that to look kind of nice. So let's put a little piece of this on there. Just like that. Try not to burn yourself. Okay. So I'm just going to come fold it around. Then I'm just going to put a little bit back of glue on the front again here. Nice. I had a gentleman that I served in the military with call me with a weird request. He wanted me to give him money. Not because he needed money. He just wanted some money. I thought that was odd. I'm not opposed to giving people money if they need it, but just random I want money stuff. It's not kind of my bag. Let's get another part of our box going here, if you can see. Just put a dab of glue. And this doesn't even have to be a box. This could be an enormous tome or anything you really want it to be on your craft. You're not obligated to follow any specific rules when you're doing this. Hold on, that is heavily glued to my finger. Alright. So I just want to get a dab of glue here. Get that down. Pull that over top of it. Okay, so here's our little crappy makeshift box. We're just going to get that on his back. Tiny dab of glue. So as you're making your pack mule, remember that you can be creative with this. You're not obligated to make him the same way I made mine. Feel free to try different stuff. So I think I'd like to have maybe this guy's selling an axe or something. I don't know. So I'm just going to take this and snip it off. I'm going to make a little axe. Let me see if I have any plastic I can use. Milk jugs are perfect, but I don't think I have them down here. No, I don't have any plastic laying around. Oh, there we go. This is just a piece of coffee lid, and all I'm going to do is cut a little axe blade out of that. And I'm actually going to cut a fairly big axe blade out of it. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to trim it down. In case I want to use this for anything else, I have some kind of... Here we go. I'm going to get my handle. I'm going to get my blade. I'm just going to get it to stick. Should have been thinking ahead, but I wasn't. Okay. We're just going to leave that out because I have a feeling we're going to need it again. I'm just going to get this kind of a little bit saturated on there so it sticks good. I'm just going to get a piece of scrap cloth and wipe off the excess so it dries quickly. What you can do if you have stuff like this that you need to dry and you have just like a little piece of foam or something. If you saw my video on making miniature weapons, you'll see that having something like this is just a little spiral where you can set stuff in here to dry. looks nice. So I can just, oh, my spiral was not big enough. Get that stuck in there to dry. We'll set that off to the side there to dry. All right, so we could also probably do a shovel. That'd be nice. I think a traveling merchant might have a shovel for sale, and a shovel's pretty easy to make, right? So for the shovel, we're just gonna do something similar, but we're gonna make it a little easier on ourselves. We're gonna start out with hot glue. And we're going to drag that around and kind of get it to coat it well. Something like that. And that'll be the back handle of the shovel part. And we can just kind of slide that, get it flushed up. There we go. And we need a shovel spade. I think the best way to do that would probably be just cut it out of this. So I'm going to cut this kind of flat across the back. And I'm just going to, I don't know if you can see, that's really small, but I'm just going to make a little shovel spade out of this. Something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. I'm going to use that same kind of cheaty trick to get it to stick again. So I'm going to get my handle. I'm going to get some glue on this here. I'm going to dip that in the baking soda. Just kind of hold it there. Probably could have done that with the super glue too, honestly, but I didn't. So okay. Oh, it's fallen. Right. Yeah, that's a mistake. Mistakes were made. All right, let's get that off there. Let's get something with a little more bite, a little more surface area to catch for our shovel handle, or for our shovel blade. So now I'm going to do the cardstock. It's thicker than that plastic. That plastic's good for axes and stuff, but for something like this, maybe this will be better, I think. And then also, it might be good to kind of have our shovel bent. So let's just roll it on something we can get a little bit of a curve to it. There we go. All right, let's try that again in slow motion. Shovel spade. Didn't learn my lesson and use super glue or hot glue. All right. We'll set this off to the side to dry after that super glue or hot glue dries a little bit. Maybe hit it with a lighter ski. All right. There's a shovel we can mount on there. Let's see how that axe is doing. The axe is feeling dry and good. Alright, so we want this axe to be hanging off him in such a way that it looks like it's not going to cut him or anything. Maybe hanging down. something like that, or something like that. Maybe across the back. Let's do something across the back. Yeah. We're just going to do a tiny dab of glue here next to the book. We're going to get that on there. Let's get our shovel and do something similar. So our shovel can hang down a little bit. Let's do a dab of glue right here. Have our shovel hanging down. Okay. Something like that. Let's turn it a little bit up. I got it locked in there pretty good. Alright, well that's just where it's going to stay. It's not perfect, but this is a pack mule, and you've just loaded in the best way you can. So maybe we could do a bedroll on here, I'm thinking. So for the bedroll, I don't have a big plan. I do these with foam frequently, and it turns out really good. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out with this. Okay. So we need a piece of this toothpick. Just get a dab on here. Get it stuck, then roll it. Okay. Unroll it a teeny bit. This I've done this with foam and it was pretty good, so let's hope it works good with this. We're just going to snip that off, that excess a little bit. Smear that on there like that, so it holds. Now you're going to get a little bit of that wire. This wire is really good for this kind of stuff, by the way, so if you don't have any, I would recommend you get some really thin wire. This is ancient from like when Jesus was a carpenter, so I mean it's not the newest stuff, but it works good for what I want it to. And I just want to twist that to look like a rope on one side of my pack, my bedroll. And then I want to cut that off once it's good and tight. Then I want to get a little bit more. Do my other side. And you want these, you want to leave some room on the edges. You don't want to go all the way to the edge with these, because what we're going to do is we're going to get that toothpick out of there, so it's not part of our design. I'm just twisting that up, getting it good and tight and snipping it off. Same deal as the other one. I'm going to pull that back, push this back away from the fabric, snip that off. Same thing on this side. Okay. And then now this is going to go across this back here, maybe over the axe. So I'm just going to get another dab of glue. Tiny little bit of glue. And get that mounted on there. Okay, so we can put more on here. We got a shovel, we got an axe, we got a bedroll, we got a box of some sort, we got some bags. We could do another bag or something maybe. Let's try to do a backpack. I don't think I've ever done one. How could we do a backpack? All right, so let's get rid of this rock. And let's get something a little bigger. You know what? Never mind. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a little bit of this. We're going to make our backpack out of that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is put a dab of glue on there. Get fabric on there. Come on, you. There we go, something like that. We're going to get a little bit on the bottom here. Fold that up. Come around. Fold that on the inside and pull it tight. There we go, something like that. We're going to do the same thing on this side, just fold a little bit around. Get it tight. And we'll cut that off. We'll cut off that excess. Stuck to my finger. That's alright. Oops, I wasn't using that finger for anything good anyways. Mumbling today, I'm sorry. Holy crap, I'm tired, I'm dumb. Alright, so this is not looking much like a backpack just yet, is it? We can fix that. I know a guy. Alright, so we're going to cut that off, and we're going to get a piece here. We're going to make a little cover, so it goes over top like a backpack does. And that's just gonna fold over like that. So I think what we need to do is snip a bit of that off. See what it looks like. Here we go, something like that. And we need something for the straps. Or really, I guess we don't. In an attempt not to burn myself, I'm going to use the back of this knife. Okay. I think when that dries, with that flap there, it's going to give the impression of that being a backpack. So let's get this on Mr. Donkey's side here. Something like that. Where is the top? There it is. I think that's going to sell as a backpack pretty well, honestly. We got some strings here, and we could hit it with the lighter, but that will melt our box. So I think the smarter thing to do on our pack mule here, besides hitting with the lighter, is to get some Mod Podge on all the stuff that's holding on to them. It's a Mod Podge and paint mixed to give it a coating. So I'm going to get a cheap brush that I don't love. Let me get a little bit of water. I'm going to get some of this. So let's get that box painted good underneath it too, where it's glued in. We want that completely coated so that it doesn't melt with spray paint. And then let's get these bags with that in there too, so that they'll kind of solidify up. And this is just paint and Mod Podge and water and Elmer's glue. I'm going to give a little substance to some of our parts here. No big deal. We can do that same thing on our axe. Give it a little bit of Mod Podge too. Why not? While we're at it. Now once this is dry, then we can safely not worry about a little bit of lighter action destroying our box. Okay. So we're just getting this around here. And if we get somewhere on his body and stuff, that's okay. It'll just be, I'm just using it to get rid of some of the excess shit. Okay. Alright, so I don't think we really need to add anything else to him. I think we have a decent pack mule going here. I think he's going to sell really, really conveniently on the table as a pack mule. That is not holding sturdy right there. That is moving. So what we need to do is not take any chances. Let's get a little bit of super glue and get it against him there. And make sure those stay. And we'll do his butt with this. And that super glue is just to hold everything in place a little bit. You don't want to get it on your box though, okay? Your box will not appreciate the super glue. And that'll sturdy this stuff up. Alright, I'm going to wipe this off real quick with a piece of this extra rag. Close up my glue. And let's take a look at what we got going on so far. So this is going to take a little while to dry. And what we're going to do is I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer a few times and see if I can't do it quickly. I'm going to base coat this guy with a rattle can, and then we're going to come back and paint him. So this has been Doom from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I appreciate you watching. Sorry I'm real quiet today. But I do appreciate you investing your time and hanging out with me, crafting. That's pretty cool. I really like, anybody who doesn't realize that it's amazing that someone goes online and invests time into watching what you do. People that don't appreciate that or think they're hot shit, like, seriously, I do. I appreciate it. I know I'm not hot shit. I'm just a guy in my basement. And so the fact that you guys keep coming and watching my stuff over and over again, it's a big deal to me. So if you haven't done it before, you can go ahead and like and subscribe, and that'll help me out a lot. And if you don't, that's fine as well. And then if you like what we're doing here and you're into miniatures, we have some discount code stuff going on. You can look in the Discord. You can look in the description of this video, and there's a link to our Discord. And then there's also a code where you can get 25% off a box of our monthly miniature subscription service, where you get like a box of kobolds or hobgoblins or orcs, something like that every month. And knights, barbarians, you name it. Every month is something different. Orcs in October or Orktober. So check us out. Maybe get some minis. Try out that discount code. See if you like that. It's pretty good. And I'll see you guys in part 2. Thanks for watching.